Indonesian street food is a collection of ready-to-eat meals, snacks, fruits and drinks sold by hawkers or vendors at warung food stalls or food carts. Street food in Indonesia is a diverse mix of local Indonesian, Chinese, and Dutch influences. Indonesian street food are usually cheap, offer a great variety of food of different tastes, and can be found on every corner of the city. Most of Indonesian street food are affordable, with prices range usually less than $1. However, there are also some street food that priced more than 20,000 rupiah. Indonesian street food, often colloquially called as kaki lima, jajan and kaki lima, which refer to 5-footway pedestrian sidewalks along the street that often occupied by street hawkers selling food. In 2015, the cooperatives, micro, small and medium enterprises and trade agency recorded that Jakarta has around 56,000 street vendors and the spaces available for them reach just 18,000. The rest occupies the city's kaki lima pedestrian sidewalks. The agency noted that the actual number is a lot bigger. Indonesian street food often tastes rather strong and spicy. A lot of street food in Indonesia are fried, such as assorted gorengan, also nasi goreng, mie goreng and ayam goreng, while bakso meatball soup, traditional soto soups and food rujak are also popular. Most of Indonesian street food has something to do with peanut sauce, steamed siomay fish dumplings, skewered and grilled chicken satay, asinan, ketoprak and gado-gado vegetable salad are all served in Indonesia's favorite peanut sauce. Characteristics: street vendors are a common sight in Indonesian street, in addition to hawkers peddling their goods on bicycles or carts. These carts are known as pedagang kaki lima, named after 5-foot width sidewalks which they occupied. Another popular theory suggests that the term kaki lima is also named after the sum of the feet, pushcarts with 3 feet, and the 2-footed vendors who push them. There are two methods of street food selling in Indonesia: mobile as a food cart, or stationed, such as in a food booth. Food hawkers on push carts or bicycles might be traveling on streets, approaching potential buyers through frequenting residential areas whilst announcing the presence, or stationing themselves on a packed and busy street side, setting simple seating warung under a small tarp tent and waiting for customers. Vendors often line busy roads during rush hour to offer the wares to hungry passers-by in need of a snack, such as bakpao vendors lining Jakarta's gridlock traffic. In Indonesia, there are many shapes and method of food peddlers, including pikulan, which is the seller carrying stuff using a rod, gerobak, a wheeled food pushcart, or sepeda using a bicycle or a tricycle, a hybrid between a cart and a bicycle. The pikulan is more precisely described as a carrying method by balancing 2 wooden baskets or cabinets using a pole or a rod on one's shoulder. The food gerobak, or Indonesian food pushcarts, mostly has similar size and design, yet their distinctive depends to the type of food being sold. They looks like a wheeled portable cupboard with drawers and glass cabinet to store and display ingredients. Some are completed with a small LPG-fueled stove. Bakso pushcart usually has a large aluminium cauldron or pot to boil the meatballs and to contain the broth, while siomay one has a steamer pot. Nasi goreng and mie goreng seller has a wok on strong-fired stove, while satay cart has a rectangular charcoal-fueled barbecue grill instead. These food pushcarts or tricycles might be constructed from a wooden or metal frame, completed with glass windows and aluminium or tin coating. These food peddlers may frequenting residential areas to serve potential customers in households in the area. Many of these have their own distinctive caller songs to announce the wares. For example, satay seller would has a distinctive acute satay yell. The bakso seller would hit wooden kentongan slit drum. Bubur ayam seller would hit the side of a soup bowl, whereas mie ayam is announced by hitting a woodblock. History. Street food has a long history in Indonesian tradition. Some panels of bas-relief on Borobudur describes traveling food and drink vendor, suggesting that the small-scale food entrepreneurship has been established in ancient Java as early as 9th century. The inscriptions dated from Majapahit period circa 14th century also describes food and drink vendor as one of line of works in Javanese society. The influences of Chinese street food culture is also visible in Indonesia as early as Dutch colonial era. Numbers of Chinese origin dishes such as various noodles, bakso meatballs, lumpia spring rolls, dumplings and Chinese steamed buns are common in Indonesian urban areas. Numbers of local Indonesian dishes has also become the source of street food variants as well as foreign influences. Satay, for example, is believed started as a street food in the early 19th century as a local Javanese adaptation of Indian kebabs. On the other hand, Dutch influence is also visible in Indonesian street food scene, especially in cakes, pastry and cookies. School kids' favorite Q-Cubit, for example, is a local derivation of Dutch poffertjes. The current proliferation of Indonesia's vigorous street food culture is also contributed by its demographic condition, the massive urbanization in recent decades. This took place especially in the country's rapidly expanding urban agglomerations in Greater Jakarta, Surabaya, Bandung, Medan, Palembang, Denpasar, and Makassar. The rapid urban growth in recent decades has opened opportunities in food service sectors, as large numbers of rural population flock to Indonesia's urban centers, many of them established of street food business. Today, it is easy to find a diverse collection of street food selling dishes from all over Indonesian archipelago, from Madura to Padang satays, from bakso Malang to siomay Bandung. In recent years, several new foreign influences also has enriched an Indonesian street food scene. They came from Western influences, also from Japan and the Middle East. For example, today it is common to find hamburger, hot dog and sosis barca food carts next to traditional bakso meatball pushcart in marketplaces. Street-side Turkish kebabs and Japanese takoyaki food stalls also might be found, although they might not be authentic, because of the difficulties to acquire required imported ingredients, plus cheaper price range in Indonesian street food market. The taste also might has been altered to suit locals' preferences, such as the addition of hot and spicy sambal chili sauce. Types. Dishes. Many Indonesian street food consists of a single meal, which is prepared, composed, mixed, heated in front of the customers per order. In most cities, it is common to see Chinese dishes such as bakmi, mie ayam and bakso sold by street vendors and food stalls, often adapted to become Indonesian Chinese cuisine. One common adaptation is that pork is rarely used since the majority of Indonesians are Muslims. Other popular Indonesian street food and snacks are siomay and batagor, pempek, bubur ayam, bubur kacang hijau, satay, nasi goreng, soto mie ayam and mie goreng, tauge goreng, asinan, laska, gerik tela and seblak. Snacks. Indonesian traditional cakes and cookies are collectively called as Q, and the assorted collection of Q sold in marketplace are often called jajanan pasar. Other street snacks include selection of pancakes such as Q ape and sarabi. It is also common to find Chinese snack, such as bakpao. Indonesian street-side snacks includes gorengan, which includes fried tempeh and ongkom, tahu goreng, pisang goreng, ubi goreng and bakwan. Beverages. The traditional drinks latang and tuik, are among the oldest street drinks sold by a street peddler using large bamboo tubes as liquid container. Indonesian street beverages include iced and sweet beverages, such as es cendol or es dore, es telo, es singkau, es dogo, es campur, es potong, and es puter. These beverages is more dessert, a cocktail of fruit and snacks rather than a drink, since other than shaved ice it contains a lot of ingredients including fruit bits, tapioca pearls, grass jelly, etc. Fruit juices are very popular. Varieties include orange, guava, mango, soursop and avocado, the last of these being commonly served with condensed milk and chocolate syrup as a dessert-like treat. Durian can be made into ice cream called es durian. Issues. Hygiene. While most of Indonesian food products served in mid to upper scale eating establishments maintain food hygiene standard ranges from good to acceptable, regulated and supervised by Badan Pengawas Obat dan Makanan. Some warung traditional food stalls and street vendors might have poor hygiene. Hygiene remains a problem for sidewalk dining as clean dishwashing is seldom practiced due to a lack of running water. The tropical microbes also might contribute to food poisoning cases, especially among foreigners during the stay in Indonesia. It is advisable to choose cooked hot food instead of uncooked room-temperatured ones sold by street vendors. For example, when consuming food sold by street vendors, consuming hot-cooked mie ayam or hot soto soup is much safer than having cold and raw karedok, gado-gado salad of fruit rujak. City order. Today, it is easy to find large numbers of tarp-tented warung food stalls and gerobak food carts occupied and clogged the kaki lima pedestrian sidewalks in Indonesian cities. This might cause walking on the street, especially in Jakarta, is unpleasant and potentially dangerous, as pedestrians forced to walk on the motorways as the sidewalks are occupied by street vendors. Historically, the island of Java has been well populated. Restaurant and street food businesses has been part of its society. Nevertheless, it was the massive urbanization started in the 1960s that shaped the street food culture of Indonesian cities. As more and more people flocking from rural areas into urban centers, new jobs are required. Many of rural origin workforce are low-skilled and low-educated. Thus, most of them are absorbed in informal economic activities, including street food business, some of them trying the luck to sell the delicacies from the hometown by establishing restaurants, warungs, food stalls, or traveling food carts. That is why in urban centers like Greater Jakarta, one easily discover various dishes. Traditional food and delicacies came from all over Indonesian archipelago, from gado-gado Jakarta, Asinan Bogor, bakso Malang, sate Madura, sate Padang, pempek Palembang to sayo May Bandung. Nevertheless, the tremendous occupation of sidewalks by the kaki lima vendors, including street food sellers, has led to another urban and societal problems. As municipal authority tried to free the pedestrian sidewalks and ease the street clogs, numbers of disputes erupts between city authority and masses of street vendors. This led to the call for city administration to regulate street food vendors in their area.